Bang! Neve's knife. Because, well, Jared sent it to me. So, you know what? I'm just going to give up on telling jokes. Guys, this is the wee beacon that came to me from Jared over at Neve's Knives. And I put this in my pocket today, and I am not going to lie, I'm a little underwhelmed. I don't know if we're going to do a full review on this. It's just so thin. And I don't typically mind thin knives, but I did a video about it the other day, short actually, where if you're dealing with a thin handle, you've got to have some breadth here. Some of the knives that I like the most that are relatively thin. The Grimsmo Norseman, which in comparison is not very much different, but look how much broader the handle is. Gives you a different level of comfort. This just doesn't feel good in hand. It feels very angular, very thin, and a little unstable, to tell you the truth. So we're going to do some quick look at, I don't know how I feel yet. And I think a lot of it is because the only place it has some thickness to it is right back here at the back. It's got a booty. It's got a big booty. But everything else is skinny. You've all met a chick like that. So let's go ahead and get a couple things in here for size comparison first and foremost. Knife in comparison is another relatively thin knife that has really good ergos, because you can see it's broader across the handle. This is the Spyderco Endura. So you can see Spyderco Endura a good bit bigger. Let's go ahead and grab another knife that pretty much everybody should know, which is the Benchmade 940. 940 is just a little bit shorter. Yeah, maybe 1/4 of an inch difference in length. Much skinnier. This is another knife that suffers from the thinness of it, and it's comfort in cut. We'll get to the reason why I don't like the thin handle. And the last one we're gonna have come up is the Chris Reeves knife Sebenza, which is a knife that most people know. So we'll go ahead and we'll look at them side by side. They're really similar. So this is really similar in size to the Sebenza. It just has some issues. So I put this in my pocket this morning, and I was kind of taken aback by how thin it felt in hand. I'm trying to see if I have anything that's relatively thin that would match it. But I really don't, except for the Norseman. So other than, everything else about it is great. It's a great looking blade. It has got a fuller where you can do you can do reverse flick with the fuller. The action on it is relatively good. It's almost drop shut. And it's a relatively thin blade that comes down to a fairly decent behind the edge thickness. Obviously, Jared has sharpened up. That is not a factory edge. So, it has a lot going for it. It's just this comfort level. And it just feels so awkward. And I think that's because this pocket clip, another reason that I say I hate these pocket clips, it puts all of the thickness and tension and pressure that your hand's going to feel on it right in a spot where you're putting the most pressure. When you're holding a knife, I don't know if you guys really paid attention, you're really not doing much with your index, middle finger, and thumb except doing some guiding. Most of the tension that you're taking on that knife is back here with these two fingers. It's the same when you hold a sword. The rest of the hand is just there for a little bit of guiding, and that's how you're basically steering the knife, is with the front part of your hand. The back part of your hand is what's doing all the work. And if you're putting that where you're going to put the most pressure, it's going to be uncomfortable and it's going to feel awkward. I hate these pocket clips. I don't like them on any knife. And then to put it on a really skinny knife where your pocket clip is almost as thick as the rest of the knife is ridiculous. There's another R word I'd like to use, but YouTube gets upset when you use it. As far as aesthetics, the knife is really attractive. Let me see if I can grab one of my other wee knives that has a similar color scheme.
Guys, I hate to interrupt the video because I know we're having fun, but I do have to do the YouTuber thing and remind you that this channel is self-sponsored with all the affiliate links and stuff you see down below. Anything from knives, tools, EDC gear, and Blade HQ, anything, all the Amazon links, they all support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything at checkout. So I'll talk about that at the end of the video. Now let's go back to the knives.
There you go. I knew I had I just couldn't remember. Luckily it came back in from Cole. This is my Wii 601, and it just shows the changes that they've made in their finishing and stuff like that. Now I did re-anodize this, but I did not really change the finish at all. Wii is doing a lot of really good stonewash. The stonewash on the ano looks really good, but much better pocket clip. this is a horrible pocket clip. I mean, I'm sure you could probably find an option, but I mean, at least they did a really good job matching all the hardware and everything. As far as cutting, I have found that just like the 940, the thinness of this knife causes it to suffer in comfort when you're cutting. So when you're cutting, it just doesn't feel as good. You're using a lot more strength than you should, and it's digging into your hand a lot more. At least they did a good job chamfering everything. This knife needed to be a liner lock with some scales. This knife needs to be thicker. There's a lot to be said for a skinny knife if it's done well, because it doesn't feel it doesn't take up a lot of pocket space. I will say that, it doesn't take up a lot of pocket space. But the fact that it does go down below the pocket, this is a pain to get out of your pocket. Like, I have to reach into my pocket and grab the sides of the knife here, or I have to grab the clip and stick my thumb way in and pull it out. I don't like that. I like just being able to grab the knife at the top and pull it out. And when it's that far in, it just doesn't feel as good in pocket to me. And the other thing about it too that I will mention is, as thin as it is, they did nothing to lighten it. Like, if this knife was like ultra light, that might be a selling point. I like a knife that has a little bit more weight than some of the really light knives, but if you're gonna make a knife this thin, make it light. It's really not any lighter than some of the other offerings that are larger. It's really not that much different than this, but this has been skeletonized. See what I'm saying? Like, you had a prime opportunity with this knife to really make a light, ultra light folder with a deep carry pocket clip that people are going to like. I will say, if you're going to do, before I forget, if you're going to do an outside cutout for the lock bar tension, do it this way. It doesn't catch on clothing anywhere near as badly as some other knives. But yeah, this is just, I'm not real impressed. This is the second one of the WE knives that came to me from Jared that I had the same problem with. Too thin, pocket clip is too wide, it's not got the right feel. And like I said, they had such a good opportunity to mill these spots out and make it an ultralight knife. That wouldn't have appealed to me so much, but I definitely think it would have appealed to some people, because there's a lot of people that want to have a folding knife that is super, super light, and to be able to do that, like, you could have removed a good bit of the weight of this knife. And it's not super heavy to begin with, but it's surprising, as thin as it is, how heavy it is. I will say they did a good job matching all the hardware. I don't know what I got on that. They did a good job matching all the hardware, color. WE's anodizing and finishing is always top notch. Fit and finish on the blade is great as well. Super fine blast, like a glass bead blast on this, or possibly even one of those, I know they've started using like baking soda and things like that as a micro blast. Finish on the handles, all the milling on the handles is done really well. And you have a reversible pocket clip. So, I mean, in the big scope of things, it's not a bad knife. I just don't think it's a knife I'm going to be able to come around to. So we'll probably just leave it at that. I don't know what else I'm going to say. We'll see. I may not even do a full video on this. So, guys, that's all I got. Let's turn this around and do some final thoughts.
There you go, guys. The WE Beacon. And I'm going to do this quick because it's 79 degrees in this garage and it's 87% humidity today. Yeah, I'm not real impressed with this one. We'll give it a shot. We'll give it a few days. We'll see. It just has a few issues that I would not expect to see in a WE knife. So I haven't looked anything up on it. I don't know the designer. I mean, maybe after I look at the designer, I'll be able to see. But yeah, it's too thin. It just does not feel comfortable in hand. So guys, that's it on this one. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down, but please try to tell me why. I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell icon. If you do hit the bell icon, make sure you've got notifications turned on your device. You will not get notified of the sometimes 3 or more things that go up a day. I'm going to try and start working into having things go up on weekends as well. Other ways you can support the channel if you want to do it financially. I have a membership down below, and it's tier-based. Pick a tier that gets you what you want out of the membership. But remember, everyone saves $5 off my sharpening service. Everyone has access to the Gilded server. Premium tier members have access to a sharpening tutorial series, and baseline and premium tier members get access to a giveaway that I do on the Gilded server about once a month. Other ways you can do it, I mentioned it in the intermission. I have got a bunch of affiliate links down below, anywhere from tools to stones to knives, anything you purchase with those affiliate links. I get some money of it, and it doesn't cost you anything at checkout. The final way is I have a merchandise store on Ember Shirt Co. You're not going to find these. This is a retro merch that's never going to be done again. But if you do purchase my merchandise or any merchandise on our website, I can save you 10% at checkout with my coupon code, CrazySharp, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp, all one word, saves you 10% at checkout. And if you send me pictures of you wearing my merchandise, I will put them in a video. Guys, that's it. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video. Let's get that fan turned back on.